welcome back to the Patch Pod. Today's episode is third one, I think, right? We've been recording a few now, but yeah, we definitely having more fun with this. Definitely getting used to this a little more. We have quite an exciting episode for you today. This is the last episode just before the Christmas, so we thought we'd do something that is more, I don't know, Christmassy, gift related, I guess. Gift, but doesn't always have to be, to someone else. To yourself is also a good gift as well. So we thought we create this hypothetical situation. If you were to have 3,000 US dollar, that is. So what was that in Canadian?
A
4,000 something?
little over 4,000, yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't have to look it up again. Well, it probably hasn't changed that much. So yeah, we will be spending 3,000. This is the don't think of this money as like an income, like maybe you could spend it on going out for a meal with your family or something like that, but just focus just on how to improve on your business. So maybe you could improve something on your camera gears, something on your back end, something like a software even. um It could be anything. So we all came up with something. We didn't discuss it before, so we have no idea what we all have prepared. So yeah, we'll kind of go into it. The way we're going to do it is we're not going to just say this is what we're going to spend on. We're going to first explain why, why. So like what we currently have and why we need this, and then we can tell the listeners like what they are, how much they are with tax. If it goes over with tax, you have to change it right now. So it's a $3,000 with tax. So yeah, we'll do that. But before I guess we go into that, the reason that we thought of that is because first, Christmas sales is it's not often as good as the Black Friday sales, but still is pretty good sales. And a lot of the companies do try to make sort of like last minute sales before the year ends. And also, this year was a good year for a lot of the photographers, I'm assuming. There were so many weddings and just not enough photographers. So I think a lot of photographers have made a bit more money than some other years. So that means maybe you could reinvest that money back into the business. That could be anything, buying gears, maybe booking a workshop somewhere else or, conference elsewhere. That could kind of boost your business next year or the year after or, further on. Instead of paying more tax, you can be paying more tax the year after, next year or the year after. So before the year kind of ends, maybe you could find a place where you can spend a little bit more money to kind of cut down on the income and probably increase the expenditure and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, who wants to go first today?
John, I'm excited to hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, John.
Okay, here we go. Okay, my first item, I'm thinking about buying the Profoto A10. It's $1,095.
Okay, that's
And I
the
want
on camera flash,
on
right?
camera flash, and I
Yep.
want to buy two of them.
Two of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's so much already. 2,000 something. 2,200. The reason behind this was because Eugene knows about this story. We were shooting a wedding a couple of weeks ago, and I was using this flash. Should I name? Okay, I'm gonna say it. It's the Godunks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
Everyone knows.
oh, everyone knows. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
It's a Godunks 863S for Sony. So basically, I wasn't doing anything special about it, but it just fell off my camera out of nowhere. I was shooting. So I was definitely freaked out. And then Eugene told me, yeah, that's normal. It happens. Oh, well, that's not good. They never gave me that warning. And you know this. So when you have a business, you want everything reliable. You want everything to work. And that's why you have backups. Luckily, I have another flash, another Godox. But when I was using it, it was also about to fall out. It was loose and it was not firing sometimes. So I was like, no, I cannot do this. I'm gonna buy a more reliable flash. And Eugene recommended that Proforo. He said is basically the Apple of flashes. So and they're pretty expensive, but if it's working, if it's reliable, then I would buy that. And then I want to buy a bunch of V90 cards, like the 128.
I don't think you
128.
can buy bunch at this point. Like, well, if I'm doing the calculation
my
right.
God.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
It's
Right now
fine.
right.
We're
right now it's
not
on sale.
having a calculator
Act-
here.
No, actually, right now it's on sale. It's like I just bought one. I just bought one the other day. $109.
Okay.
128 gigabytes V90 from ProGrade
hmm
because I wanna get into hybrid shooting. I do have a 64 gig right now, which is pretty small. I just tried that out the other day when I was shooting with Eugene, and I was pretty impressed with how fast it was. So, yeah, I think it'll be like a good upgrade with my V60s. Maybe I'll probably buy 4 of those to start with.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, really.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
I have like options, like option
There you
A.
go. Oh, actually, I
Oh,
had
wow.
let's
Oh.
It's not like I haven't really decided.
okay.
That's why I thought I was gonna discuss with you guys. What
Wow,
I
you
would
guys were
do.
really excited about this
Yeah.
episode.
Years. So that was option 1, right? And then option 2.
Yeah, see?
Because currently I have an A7 IV and an A7. I would like to retire my A7 III and buy another A7 IV as backup or 2 camera bodies. A7 IV so that I can do both hybrid shooting on both cameras. And then V90 cards. A7 IV and V90 cards.
Yeah.
How much is
Uh,
A7 full?
$2,400.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's not
so
bad.
you have some room
Yeah.
for the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then option
Cool.
3. Option
yeah.
3.
Mhm.
Option 3. I want to buy the. This is the last one. I wanted to buy the DJI Mini.
Mm.
Mini.
The drone.
Mini 3
yeah.
Pro. Yeah. Because
Okay.
I just sank my other one. And then when I was shooting with Eugene. Funny story.
we know exactly where it is.
Yeah, it's in Lake Las Vegas. If anybody wants to scavenge, it's in Lake Las Vegas. We were
You
shooting
should
with
tell them what happened. Yeah.
Oh, actually, it was the same wedding. It
Let's
was
say,
the
oh
same-
no, I didn't know it was
Yeah,
the
so-
same wedding.
That
Oh,
wasn't
no.
that wasn't a good day for John.
My flash
No.
broke, and I sang my drone. So it was a pretty interesting day. But anyway, I wanted to get that Mini 3 Pro, and I was looking into buying the Ronin, DJI, the gimbal. What was it? S3? I forgot the name of it. But that's like $600, I think. Yeah. That's my option 3. Okay, I'm done.
Cool.
What do you guys think?
So wait, in order of 1, 2, and 3, is that the order it would be in? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So the
I
light
think
is
the-
first then.
Oh yeah, definitely the
okay.
lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that happening to you? And like, if you're alone, you're the only shooter, and two of your flashes broke. That's
Mm.
crazy.
That's why a photographer that I know, he's actually an ambassador of for that, and then so he has 5 flashes.
Wow.
If 5 flashes break on one day, then
That's crazy. Yeah.
you shouldn't be shooting that way.
Something's wrong.
It's bad karma that
Yeah,
right
That's
definitely.
actually a good point, though. Like, how many bodies do you think is enough then? Because if
Right.
one fails, the second one fails, what are you going to do?
That's
Well, that's why I think a lot of photographers do carry three bodies.
yeah.
Yeah, so like chance of two camera bodies failing in, at the same time, on the same day,
Yeah.
it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
It's just like that analogy can go through the SD cards as well. So if you have
Yeah.
two SD cards on each body and then you have four SD cards total,
Yeah.
and if all of them fail,
That's something else. That's an extreme bad luck.
Knock on wood.
yeah.
John,
Yeah.
good
I
thing.
know, yeah. Anyway,
Well,
that's why I
that's
don't
why
wanna
if you
go
buy
ahead, Paul.
another body, you should keep the 3
The A7 III, definitely.
as the
Yeah,
third backup.
yeah, Eugene was telling me to sell the A7 III, but that's why I was thinking about not selling it, just keeping it as
Yeah.
backup.
Mm.
I actually shot with a photographer who literally carried 3 bodies with 3 different lenses,
Yeah, wow.
Oh, I know a photographer that does that
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
which
I s-
is very impressive, but
Yeah. Uh,
that's a lot.
I also do that because it is our business, and weddings you only do it once. So there's no redos on that one. So you really have to be prepared. That's why I carry 4 lenses. I don't necessarily use all of them, but now I'm currently just using the 35 to 150 Tamron. And then yeah, I'll like
Why are you
double-
laughing?
it's crazy. But I
No,
do
because like when I met him first, like he was like always like prime only, and I'm like,
Oh.
I'm always using 35 and 150, and
Yeah.
he's like, maybe I should do that. And
Yeah.
he started doing it, and then
Yeah.
now that's the only lens he
Yeah.
uses.
because I had it in my bag, but I didn't use it. It was just in my bag, and then I just kept using the prime. But now, when I saw Eugene, there was this one time you were only shooting with one body
Mhm.
the entire wedding. I was like, okay, that's something else. Maybe I should do that too. So when I did that, I was like, okay, the image quality is actually pretty good. Variety of shots, pretty good. Low light, pretty good. So I'm like, there's no reason why I shouldn't do that. So now I just keep the prime lenses for backup. And then maybe for low light situations like detail shots, getting ready shots,
Dance
would-
floor.
yeah, dance floor. I would use the 35 or 24, 1.4.
Mm.
But the entire day I could get away with the 35 to 150. Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna shoot hybrid, that's definitely a really good
Exactly.
video lens for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah. But I do regret selling the 24 to 70 because it seems like it's also the perfect
How many lenses do you
hybrid.
need?
Probably 4. Probably 4 to be safe. That's probably the safest 4.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 zoom and 3 primes. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Or ultimately, maybe the if I really wanna travel light, I will do maybe 3.
Mm.
3 lenses or 2. Actually, I can do 2. The
Okay.
35 to 150 and then 50 mil. That's it.
Mm.
Because if the Tamron breaks the 50 mil, I can do everything with the 50 mil.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, that was
Amazing.
yeah, a very wide variety of.
Yeah.
You went from light all the way to
Yeah.
dark, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I thought we will get that variety by us doing like one option each. That would give plenty of variety. But John did everything by himself, so yeah, that was good.
No, I think it's because it's my first year and the gear acquisition syndrome is very real right now. But I do try to limit it and really limit it to what I really need. So I try to justify it, but sometimes I'm unreasonable.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
good. All right, Pauline, do you want to go? Do you have
Sure.
2 options or 3 options?
I don't really have options. I just have things on my list that we can go
Okay.
through and discuss.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Well, okay, if I were to spend it right away, the whole amount, I would consider 70 to 200.
Okay.
Okay.
Just because my right now I only have two lenses, 35 and 85, just because I switched systems and I didn't really want to invest so much at once.
Mhm.
So those are my go-to anyway. So I was like 35, 85, that's all I need. But sometimes you just need that extra reach. The crop function can only get you so far. So I think that'd be amazing, especially during ceremonies, even during like portrait sessions. You can get like amazing
Yeah.
like photos, especially like if there's a big mountain behind them, you can definitely zoom the mountain really, really big if you
Mm.
go all the way to 200. So that is one option if I want to just spend it all right away.
How much is that?
That's around like 3,500,
Too
so like
bad.
right at the mark.
That 35, that's Canadian, right?
Yeah, it's Canadian.
What I just don't know the price
I,
for
I I think it's
this
I think it's 2400. The Sony GM.
2400?
You're talking about
Okay.
the Sony GM, right?
Yeah.
The 70. Yeah, I
This
think
Mark II.
2400.
Mhm.
Mark.
The Mark
Oh, it's the Mark
Oh,
II.
one or two. Well, I mean, obviously two if I can, if that in budget.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on.
But
Okay.
I've held it. It's so much lighter, and it's
Oh
not
yeah.
like because I always thought like these lenses are so heavy, like I don't even want to consider. It's just
Yeah.
too
No, I've
heavy.
held it too,
But
and then I did it like a
it's very
comparison,
light.
like side by side. Yeah. And the
Oh.
first one is like a tank, and it's like the second one is so much
Forgiving
lighter.
Eugene adding to the list. Or no, John is adding to the list. Yeah.
No, I was just looking at it. But it's $2,798.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
So if it ever goes on sale,
Yeah. I don't know.
within budget, what?
I
What,
don't feel
John?
like it's I don't know, the 35 to 150 is so good that I
What, John? This is Poland. So like, you don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Well, I
no
thought we were gonna
judgment.
I know I thought we were gonna discuss
Well,
this.
we're discussing, but in her perspective,
Oh,
right?
Just saying.
Okay. So when I first got a DSLR, my lens was like a zoom. It was like I don't remember. It was a Sigma like 30 something to like 100. I don't remember. And then my first like next lens that I bought was a 50, 1.8. It wasn't even amazing, but like I loved it. And so my next option would be a 51.2 because I mean, hello. It's amazing. You can like shoot in such a low light and yeah. So that was 2,500 Canadian, so still some money left over. And yeah, I think 50 is kind of the in between like you said, John, like if you can only pick one, that could be the one that can cover a lot of scenarios. So that'd be another option. So basically, I'm just covering all the bases now. So 35, 85, and then a
Okay,
50, like in between.
Poland's definitely into lenses.
Oh yeah.
Well, you wait, I have more. So now that we have the like longer focal length, the middle one, and the next one I would consider would either be a 24, 1.4, or the one you lent me when we saw each other, the Tamron 17 to 28. That was much cheaper. So with that one, I can get a lot more things. So yeah, I just needed it wide for sure. Like there's definitely some moments where like, yeah, I could go with a wider focal length, fit everyone in. I don't have to like lean so far back and like break my back. Yeah. So those are my options. And then if I had money left over, obviously SD cards, memory cards. So right now I'm wearing like this holster, dual strap. But
Okay.
because I had a car accident and it kind of ruined my shoulder, I'm thinking about like, have you guys heard of the spider holster? So instead of like
Yeah.
it's being like a strap, you actually like wear it as a belt.
Mhm.
So that like really relieves a lot of the weight from your shoulders. So I would consider that one. That one is $400, so it's not cheap. But if,
Wow.
for long term, if it really relieves like any like strain, then I would consider that. And then obviously like a video light, because I don't have one, I just use on camera. So again, kind of that backup and that extra light if I need it, especially for like a sparkler exit or just something fun. So I would consider the aperture one. the RGB light because you can have different colors. That's kind of
Mm,
fun. Or the Lume Cube. So those are the two I would consider. So yeah, those would be what I would consider if I had extra. I went with,
Yeah.
24 and then I could get a holster. Yeah. So yeah, mix and match basically. It depends on my first decision and then we can go from there.
No, but I think that was really good. Like, like it definitely, you highlighted what like area in your work that was just kind of
mm,
need upgrading, and yeah, so I think that
I
was
mean,
very
I thought
valid.
thank you. I always thought like about other systems too, like obviously the whole AI editing and all that stuff. But like what's working for me right now is working. So I'll venture into that maybe a little bit later on after I'm more
Yeah,
settled with my gear and stuff. So
yeah. When
I
you get
think
into the
you're gonna have
3000.
that cut. Yes. Next year. Ask me this again next year. It'll be different.
uh, quick question, Polly.
Yes.
So what's your priority? Like amongst the items that you mentioned, which one's your the most the probability that you're gonna buy it?
You know me, I've been asking you guys, like, what should I get? Like, which wide one? Because I just cannot decide. Like, I don't
Oh,
want to
the
make the
wide,
wrong decision.
right,
And
right.
also, I want to be minimal. Like, I want to actually use it and not just
Mm-hmm,
have it because I have it. Like, I want to actually pull it out, not just
right.
collect dust. I think that's
Yeah,
why I've been like putting off buying something, is because I still have some lenses from my previous system, which is still here. Like, I don't want to waste it. Like, someone else could be using this. So I really want to kind of like pinpoint, go through all the pros and cons, and then make my decision.
right.
But priority, oh, good question. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I need a wide, and then sometimes I'm like, I need the
Mm,
extra reach. So, but I think if I had to choose, probably a wide one.
right. Okay.
Yeah. So either 24 or the 17 to 28.
Okay. Oh, because right now your widest is 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What what sort of situation do you find yourself using wide?
Well, this year I had a lot of like Chinese Asian banquets where you do
Ah,
table toasting, and I had to borrow my friend's 20 because like I just couldn't fit everyone in, you know?
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or like, yeah,
Okay.
again, mainly for group situations.
Mhm,
Yeah, where there's not enough space.
Yeah, definitely. And being wide, it's much easier to focus. You don't have to deal with all the 1.4, 1.2, even
right.
at
Yeah.
2.0, 2.8, you're covered and getting everyone in
In
focus as
focus,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
yeah.
I also thought about the 20 millimeter, but that could be not. It's cheaper also. 1.8. Again, it's kind of like I don't really use that focal length
Yeah.
often. So if I go for a cheaper one, then it might be worth it. But
I always feel like 20 is good. I mean, I've had 20 before, but it feels like it's a very awkward sort of like it's wide, but it's not wide enough, and
mm,
it's
yeah.
not really 35 or 24 either. So it's
Yeah.
like you
Mm,
don't really have that kind of compression, or well, you won't really have compression in the zoom lens, I mean, in the wide lens anyway. But yeah, it just feels a little bit awkward. Like you'd rather be in 16 or 14 if
mm,
you're gonna go wide, like super wide,
mm.
Yeah.
or being like 24, that's a little bit more
I really
you can
like
still do some portrait stuff as well.
I really like
But
the 24.
mm,
Yeah.
do you ever
Because
think that you
it's
need to go wider though?
yeah.
See?
I'm always I'm always there. I'm always like, especially because if I'm doing something with perspective, like something really high, then I'm doing a vertical shot, and with 24, I'm like, I'm cutting off their feet and I'm cutting off their top
Yeah.
of the thing. I'm like,
Mm,
I wish I needed 20. But the problem is if you go
Yeah.
wider, because it just stretches out a little bit more,
it distorts
that's
the
yeah, that's
Yeah.
always so that's
that's
why
my
I'm always like trying to make it work with 24.
Mm,
But yeah.
no, that's also my problem with the super wides.
yeah.
It just distorts. It's especially if you're doing more portraits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of messes up the image.
Yeah. So much to consider.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
You
excited to hear.
should get all the pros and cons. Well,
Yes.
you should rent a few and try them out, because even if it feels like on the paper, even if it feels right, until
Yeah.
you try it and then you really use it, give it a good test, don't really get to have your opinion on it.
No, sometimes
So
I'm like, is it 24 too close to 35?
I definitely don't think it is. It definitely has different characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe try.
Yes.
Give it a try. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Is it my turn
Alright,
now?
yep. We
Mhm.
started today.
I think we did it in a good order. John with 3 options and Pauline with a few. Mine is fairly simple. And so I only have 2 items. So currently I use Godot's Light. I have 2, and then I do they broke so many times that I've changed the bottom. What do you call that? The
Hot
bottom.
shoe.
Yeah,
Hot
Hushu
shoe, yeah.
plays at least about 4 or 5 times on each of the lights. And
Wow.
all the people who listen to this probably know this. And like that's not a bad, I mean, it is a bad thing,
Mm.
but it's for the full how much it costs, it kind of justified for, in comparison, like you have Pro Photo where that's over $1,000. So
Yeah.
for the Godox lights you get 1 Pro Photo light. So kind of makes sense. I mean, I've changed it 4 times, so and it didn't cost $1,000 for me. So, it's doing its job.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah, and
another thing about Godox light is that their temperature is never right. So because I shoot everything manual, so like I control the Kelvin, and whatever the Kelvin that I'm in, it's never if I fire the flash, the color always changes. So just having that sort of like limitation or another step that I have to go through in post process or during the shoot just kind of annoys me a little bit. And also another thing about Godot's light, any flash in that matter is that, well, I should say what I'm getting first. This is actually the same with John, Pro Photo A10. So instead of 2 lights, I was gonna get 1 because the reason I have 2 lights is because in case
you
1
can,
breaks.
yeah.
Mm.
So I mean, I never used 2 lights at the same time. I've only
Really?
used 2 lights once. Yeah, I mean, if I use off-camera flash, it'll be only with 1 light with
Okay,
a
okay.
remote on my camera body. I've only had to use 2 light system, 2 off-camera flash once in probably I don't know 10, 15 weddings. So I don't use it that much, and that was only for the group photos where I have to just set it up on the side, just point it to the opposite sides and shoot that way so that everyone is kind of covered. So usually just 1 light is plenty for me. So 1 A10 with that little, I don't know, do they call it connect or some Profile connect or something, that little remote that goes on top of your camera. So with that, it's $1,195. And then another light that I currently have is Rotolight Neo 2. And I've had that light for 5 years now, and I've really loved using that light. That light just takes on 6 AA batteries. So it's like even if you run out of batteries, you can just go to, you know, grocery stores next
Mhm.
door and then just get the batteries. But using AA battery means it's not as powerful as some of the other flash or, other light units. But the fact that you can control the strength of the light from 1 to 100, and then you can fire the flash at that power at any time that you want, and it doesn't have any recycle time. And the fact that you can change warm to cool and then fire the flash in that color is pretty amazing. I've used that in so many different situations, like even going out to shoot in astro astro portraits, doing a couple shoots in with the stars and everything like that. Just because with any flash, it'll be way too strong for with Astro. So using something like that is pretty amazing. But it's getting old and it's not that powerful. So meaning the variety of the shots that I can get with that light is pretty limited. So I can only really use it when it's dark. So the second one is the Rotolite. I wanted to stay with Rotolite just because I love their product so much. Is the EOS, the bigger version, 2 Pro. Names are always quite difficult. The good thing about this is the EOS 2 just came out beginning of this year, and then the Pro version just came out, and I think they're still on the Kickstarter. So anyone who's interested, you can still take advantage of it.
Looking at
But
it now.
but the difference between the EOS 2 and the EOS 2 Pro, the reason I chose the Pro is that you can use before you could only use Elinchrom Skyport for the trigger, but now you can use Godox trigger, you can use Profoto trigger. So what that means, I can use it with Profoto A10, and I can use it as a flash, I can use it as a video light, I can use it for the big family session or group photos. So yeah, I'll be covered with 2 lights, one LED and one flash, and they're both built pretty well. Even if I knock it during a wedding or something, I don't think that will actually break. So yeah, I think I can spend that sort of money on two light unit. Rotolite EOS 2 Pro right now is 1,499 to 1,500. So 1,500 plus 1,200 was 2,700 with tax just under 3,000. That was the only option that I had. Sorry.
It's
Mine
funny because
wasn't. Yeah.
I could invest in lights, but I do find that I work with my friend who's a videographer who has video lights that make a huge difference. Like if I didn't have his lights on, like I would need lights. So I'm very thankful, videographers. Thank you. If you use it, bring lights. It really helps photographers out. That's all I gotta say.
Definitely. Yeah.
Wow.
So when you do weddings just by yourself, do you still use flash or?
I do, but the weddings that I want to attract, putting it out there, is more
Yeah.
outdoorsy, more like not full day. It's more of a vibe, like more like dimmer. I'm not a fan of the flash look personally. Obviously, you need it in some cases, but
Hmm.
I would prefer not to use it if I don't have to.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely get like the ambient feel with flash still, but I still like it without.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah. And honestly, like I think it's one of those things. Like at this point, like if you like that vibe, there are so many like even softwares that's out there that you could shoot at 6,000 ISO and
Oh my
be
God.
clean with it.
Yes.
Have you? No, it sounds like you haven't shot at 6,000. I've shot at 6,000 quite a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Even going over 10,000. Yeah, I've done a few.
Mm,
Yeah. Because I've been shooting with Eugene, I find myself experimenting a lot.
yeah.
And back then, I always get freaked out when my ISO is like over 6,000, 5,000.
I think you just
Now,
kind of have to experiment it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now looking at it, post processing it, it's not bad. It's
Yeah.
actually okay.
Yeah,
They're
I mean
good.
these cameras that comes out these days, like,
I don't
they're
know.
good.
Sometimes the noise, I find it pleasing. So
Yeah.
as long as your composition is good, as long as you exposed it properly and you don't have to brighten it in Lightroom,
Mm.
you should be
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
if you mess up your exposure and you're already at ISO 6,000, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I think that's where I think a lot of people or a lot of the neo photographers I think kind of mess up is where they don't think they can go really high on ISO. So at ISO maybe 3,200, they were already at probably like, exposure compensation probably down at -1, and they think that should be okay and just shoot that way. But that noise is much worse than when you shoot at 6,400 or even 8,000. And
Mhm.
if you expose it correctly, then it's much easier to correct it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you expose properly, it should be okay. Because
Yeah. So, do you guys think you guys covered everything?
what's
Well,
that?
speaking
What's
of
that?
lights. No, there's one thing that I really wanted, but I haven't. It's
Mhm.
hard in Canada to get it. I don't know.
Mm.
I think it's just more expensive here. But I really want the vintage lanterns.
Oh. Oh.
So if you want to get me something for Christmas,
I'll
I
send
want
it to
two,
you. Ship it
please.
to you. That's been
So
a,
Plus,
that's
I,
been a that's
mhm,
been a thing, huh? I
yeah,
mean, who uses that?
well,
Henry.
someone in
Henry.
Seattle
Yeah, Henry.
kind of like made everyone
Yeah.
start
Yeah,
using it, and
Yeah, I
yeah.
see it everywhere.
yeah.
But it's I mean, it's kind of cool. The
Mhm.
light that comes from the lantern, is it pretty good? Like it illuminates the face of is that real or is it post?
It's
No,
real.
I think it's
It's
real.
real. It's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good then.
Mhm.
Nice.
Well, and I think I actually don't know what Henry uses,
Mm.
but as long as it's, how should I put it, natural light, if it's actual like fire, it's it's
Well, no, we want to be safe. I think it's just an LED,
Oh,
but it's like a
LED inside the
warm.
lantern.
It's like a
yeah.
warm one though, not like the
I was
white.
That
Yeah.
makes more
right.
sense.
I
Okay.
was going to say, if it's either fire or LED that you can control the temperature, then you're fine.
Because
No fires.
Why not?
because I was like
What?
thinking about it.
No.
It was, I mean, because sometimes the places that he shoots at, it's like cold and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's ideal to have a lantern. It's like heat
Hmm.
source and a light source. So
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah.
True,
Maybe
but
we'll send Pauline that.
okay, look it
I'm
up.
not setting any forest fires here.
So, Pauline, do you guys
Yeah,
are you guys able to order from Amazon?
I think so. But
You are.
I've looked at them. Some of the reviews are not good.
Oh, okay.
There's this other one by this company. They don't ship. They only ship to the States. You guys have it good over there, okay? Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there an item that it's over $3,000 that you want to buy? What's that one
we're
item?
we're making the episode really long.
What's that one item?
If you win the lottery, is what
Yeah.
he's saying.
Yes.
One item.
One item that you really need, like you really need it, but it's like too expensive.
Really need it or really
Yeah.
want it?
Yeah, that's different.
Neither one.
No, like you gotta be a little bit more specific with that.
Okay. Let's just say want.
Want.
Let's say want.
Want.
Yeah, that's more interesting. If it's want, right? Okay,
Okay.
you start first, Eugene, because we started.
I have one item that comes up in my mind, and this is like one item that is like very far out of reach from me, and I'm like, yeah, if I can spend any money on it, then I'll get phase 1.
Wait, what is that?
Phase 1 is medium format camera, like a Hasselblad,
Oh, okay.
but it's very high quality. A lot of people use it for a lot of the commercial stuff. So their camera, I think if someone can get me the body, then I think I'll spend the money on the lenses. But the body starts at 55,000.
Jeez. Ridiculous.
Wow, he's going way,
Wow.
way
No,
over.
but it's one camera that is that I just love the sort of like the color rendition with the 16 bits, and it's just like it's so nice and smooth and
Oh, you
yeah.
touched this. You've touched this, Eugene.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh, sure.
it's one of those things like is if I'm shooting a lot of weddings and if I'm doing a lot more and I can get phase one and then using two camera bodies because within being a medium format is not the fastest camera. But if I can incorporate that in a wedding, like to get a really cool signature shot or something like that, that would be pretty epic.
That would be really
Alright.
scary. That would be really scary lugging around a $55,000 camera battery.
Yeah.
Wow.
In a wedding
I
day.
know a guy who lost it.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
wow.
Well, someone stole it, not lost it.
Mm,
Mm,
that's sad.
mm,
People would do that.
yeah.
Crazy.
All right.
How about you, Pauline?
Well, mine's definitely different. It's not, I guess you wouldn't really think it's photography related, but I would get like the maxed out version of a MacBook Pro.
Oh, that's. I think it's reasonable. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a lot
You need
over
it, yeah.
3,000 USD.
it's almost like a need, right? Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
But do I
Max-
need
max-
the like what?
Maxed out is almost like 10,000.
Okay, not like fully maxed, but like
Okay, that's really that's ridiculous. That's crazy. You're talking about. Sorry, I'm not familiar with Apple products, but it's
Oh.
the desktop version of. It's the desktop version of.
No, I'd
you
probably
said
get the
MacBook Pro,
MacBook
right?
MacBook Pro, like
Oh,
16
the laptop. Okay,
Yeah.
M1 Max. Yeah.
I didn't know it was that expensive. That's crazy.
Well, you
M1 I think
configure it.
M1
Yeah.
M1 Max starts at 3,500, I think, US. And then, so if you increase the RAM a little bit, if you increase
Yeah.
the,
Memory a little, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it goes up.
Storage.
Yeah.
At least it's not $55,000. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I said I thought you were just gonna get, a little bit over 3,000. And
What,
then
like 3,200? No.
Okay, John, you're
okay.
up.
For me, it's probably the A7R5. That's that's my I really want it.
A7R5 is
4,000, right?
3,900? 4,000? Yeah.
Around 4,000
Okay.
with
Yeah.
tax.
Yeah, see, this is the reason that we limited to 3,000.
I know. It's a little
So
bit
we
pain.
don't,
It
so
was
we don't go
painful.
like splurge on like
I know.
everything and anything that we want is
Right,
because
yeah.
it still have to be good sort of like decision making in terms of
Yeah.
for the business and
Yeah.
everything. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my one item. A7R5. It's because
I mean, I was gonna say, if any family members who are getting us gifts this Christmas listening, got you. See?
Good job. Good job.
Amazon
Nice.
gift-
John, his
Amazon-
camera.
Amazon gift cards, stack them up.
My wife. She's
Well,
gonna watch this later.
Yeah, so this is gonna go out only, what is it, 4 days before? Yeah, 4 days before the Christmas, so won't have a lot of time, but yeah, definitely possible.
It's fine if it's past Christmas. It's okay.
Oh yeah, that's okay too, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, she just bought me a bike, so I'm pretty spoiled. But, yeah, I cannot ask for more.
All right, well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything that we wanted to discuss about. I mean, we
We're
definitely
now
discussed
all
a
broke.
lot more than oh yeah, we definitely discussed a lot more than we
Yeah.
kind of planned. So yeah, I think that definitely covered. I mean, hopefully while we're discussing that, hopefully, maybe you had some ideas in terms of what you wanted to, maybe purchase or maybe something that you wanted to improve on in your business. I mean, we didn't really get into any of the back end stuff. So all the software that you can purchase or the external hard drive, file managing system, maybe some of the trips that you can do next year. So yeah, there are plenty of stuff that you can definitely spend money on, and you still have good about 10 days to spend money on. So yeah, good luck with that. Definitely,
I
it's
want
it's a
if
fun time.
someone's listening, I want someone to calculate how much everything was in total. Everything
no one's gonna
we
listen
talked
that
about.
carefully. Is
You
that
never
Canadian
know.
or US dollars?
Both. We
Right?
want
Yeah.
both.
Converted.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I definitely think you guys enjoyed as much as we did. I mean, definitely, it's. I mean, we're only episode 3, but I think we definitely enjoyed this one the most.
We like to spend money.
Yeah.
So yeah, next week we're going to talk about, as we're kind of wrapping up the year, we're going to talk about kind of reflecting on how this year went in terms of our business, or some of the goals that we have set at the beginning of the year, or maybe even how many photos we took this year. And then we'll probably talk about a little bit about the sort of like New Year resolution and some of the goals, or some of the things that we want to try next year. So, all the boring stuff, I guess. But I think it's very important to do something like that. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and it's going online every Tuesday. We're aiming for 6 o'clock, but we're noticing that it doesn't actually go on at exactly at 6 o'clock. So it'll be, depending on which one you use and which one you're listening on, the time will vary a little bit. If you want to see us, you can see us on Spotify as well as YouTube. But definitely check out our Facebook group and Instagram as well. Join us on Facebook group, and then we can discuss a lot more about things to spend on. So
Yeah,
yeah,
let us
hope you guys
know
enjoyed it.
what you would spend on. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I mean, like I think we talk all the time, so we're probably thinking on the similar line, but we
Yeah.
could be hearing
Yeah.
something completely different.
Yeah.
It's always fun. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.